welcome back to Venus Exchange. Well, we don't have to introduce ourselves. It's just a habit that I picked up from broadcast school. But thank you for tuning back into our show, as today we are going to be discussing the sacred, pleasurable practice of masturbating.
Had to add that.
Not the buzz sound.
But yeah, so well, happy full moon. I don't know how everyone's feeling. We could kind of do like a energy check-in, but this is a perfect time to be talking about sexual energy and masturbating, because Scorpio is connected to the reproductive system, and that is all around sexual energy and sexual attraction. So yeah, but how's everyone feeling on this full moon?
I have a question. So, didn't you say that we can feel the full moon's energy a couple days before it and after?
A couple days after.
So, I was feeling it Friday.
Friday? Okay.
And I started the release then. I started the release then. And today I feel fresh. I feel new. So,
that's good. Yeah. How you feeling?
It's ghetto.
It's ghetto? Yeah.
It's ghetto.
That's it. This morning started off with dogs shitting everywhere, and both kids peed the bed. So I feel like that was like an intense way to start.
Both dogs peed the bed?
No, both kids peed the bed.
Oh!
And the dogs were shitting everywhere because they ate something bad. Like all the dogs. Like multiple dogs.
The kids are pissing. The dogs are shitting.
Right. We woke up and we were just like, what the fuck? There was shit everywhere. It was bad. So that was like, okay, this is what's happening.
See, the dogs had to release something.
Right? They got it all out.
Okay, that's good.
So did your day turn around?
Yeah, it's been fine. But I can definitely feel that intense energy.
Yeah, same.
Of the moon going on.
Yeah, same. I feel like I've been trying to stay, floating. Or stay on top of things a little bit, because it feels thick. But I felt it Friday, too. So it's just like, But I feel fine. Feel good.
Yeah, there's intense energy, but there's like good energy from it as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel motivated.
Yeah, same.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like everything's going wrong. So
yeah, no, I don't feel that way either.
Just intense stuff is happening.
Yeah,
that you just kind of have to laugh off.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to experience your day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get into masturbate, elevate, and repeat. Earlier on my story, I posted like how often, I asked everyone how often do they masturbate. So what are y'all looking like?
Alicia, you in my business. Don't do
that.
I
had to be. I'm trying to figure it out.
It all hang out this episode.
Okay.
But, definitely about 4 or 5 times a week. If I can, I like to do multiple times a day.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's also because
I am amazed.
You said wow.
Well, that's also because, it's just, aside from using it to, draw things out, I also use it for pleasure a lot. So,
yeah. Okay, I feel that.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
What's up with you, Nova?
Yeah, she's like avoiding the question.
I know, right? She said you in my business.
Right.
Me and my business.
Right.
There's no wrong answer.
No, I'm thinking. No, I honestly maybe 3 times a month.
3 times a month, yeah.
I like to harness my sexual energy because I never know when I'm gonna have to activate it.
Yeah.
To just do some stuff, and then my dude's kind of sporadic. He's like, "Oh, we'll fly you out. Let's do this." So for the most part, our visits are planned. And for that reason, I just don't like to be tapped out. Also, my 3-year-old comes to get into bed with me every night, so my schedule, my privacy is just in total violation.
Yeah.
So maybe 3 or 4 times a month.
3 to 4 times a month. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you ever add more to that?
When I first started doing my healing and my sacral healing, I masturbated. It was days I called off. It was like hours late to work.
Really?
Yeah, because I would be like, I need to make money. I can't find a good video, so then it would be all day.
Okay.
So yeah,
you couldn't find a good video.
We could go into that too.
Porn? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. For sure. But yeah, I've definitely had times where I was multiple times a day, every day. All of that. I've been there. I'm just not there right now.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
I said once a week. When I did your poll, yeah. Just because I'm sexually active with somebody, it's probably less that I'm by myself and doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I still do it. I mean, you have to. I feel like it's still important even if you're, have a partner.
I agree. I think for me, I don't know, like, some months I'll do it more, but I don't do it that much. So I'll probably say maybe 3 times every 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. When I cycled with the full moon, I would feel the need to do it more. Like, literally, like, I would be horny as all get out. And I'm like...
Ovulating with the full moon?
No, I used to cycle with the full moon.
You used to bleed with the full moon?
Yes, I used to bleed with the full moon for months. For maybe, like, 5 to 7 months or so.
Okay.
It took me like maybe a month or 2 to notice it because it was like spotting, but then as time went on I kept getting more and more symptoms to where I could tell it was the full moon by my breast or by just like my productive or just being completely lethargic. So I could tell all of those things, and I've always been the type of person that the closer I get to my cycle I'm horny. And I'm like, Lord, you trying to trap me up. You trying to get me knocked up because why do I when I'm ovulate, like when I it's like you're in that end of
that danger zone.
That danger zone. Right, red, the orange, the red zone.
Wait, when?
So
I thought you said you bled on the full moon.
I bled on the full moon, right? So I could tell when the full moon was coming because everything would be like and I would be like super horny. I'm like, I'm about to get my period. It's about to be the full moon.
Okay.
But we were saying it's a danger zone, like for ovulation.
Right before your period?
Yeah, because you can get pregnant.
2 weeks before your period is when you ovulate.
Right, but then that egg is still up in there. It ain't shed yet. I mean, that's a nice roll.
So you're a red moon.
I'm not no more.
Oh, you switched?
Yep, now I'm the week before. So now it's the full moon. I was on my cycle last week.
Okay, so then if you bleed on the new moon, you're a white moon.
Nope, I don't think I would.
And you ovulate on the full moon. So if you bleed on a new moon, you ovulate on a full moon. If you bleed on a full moon, you ovulate on a new moon.
No, I'm no
the moon phase cycle is 28 days, which is exactly as a woman's menstrual cycle.
Yeah, so now
but you can be in between, obviously, waning or waxing.
Yeah, that's why I'm on the waning moon now because I'm the week before the full moon.
Okay, yeah. So
it's powerful things that can happen then.
I
looked it up.
The difference
if you research, like, I'm not sure what the in-betweens, like waning and waxing, but full moon, if you're ovulating on the full moon and bleeding on the new moon, ovulating on the full moon is great for fertility. Like, that means, like, that's like...
You said the new moon?
If you're ovulating on a full moon, that means you're super fertile. Like, that's the best time to get pregnant. And bleeding on the full moon or the new moon would be what would happen then. So opposite, they actually say you're more outward focused, like as a healer, rather than intimacy with yourself.
If you bleed on
bleed on the new moon rather than ovulate on the sorry, I'm kidding. If you bleed on the full moon, like you were saying, that's like healers, witches, they used to say that was not good because it wasn't normal, but really, if you look, there's all different types of reasons or ceremonial things that you can do depending on what moon phase you're in.
Can you run that by me one more time? Ovulating on a full moon.
Okay, so the ideal menstrual cycle would be that you bled on the new moon and then you ovulated on the full moon because that means you're most fertile when the moon is full. So you want to ovulate on the full moon. Bleeding and then bleed on the new moon. So you're releasing stuff just like you release with the new moon starting over, blah, blah, blah. That is the white moon cycle. Opposite is the blood moon, which would be you're bleeding on the full moon, ovulating on the new moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Got all that information.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Yes. Okay, so we have some comments. They're talking about like who you masturbate and stuff like that. But so obviously we all do it, right? And sometimes I don't know how everyone else's journey was with it. I know that I started really early in life, but I was the child who would hump teddy bears, you know, or like need to feel like something rubbed up against it. But that was then, now understanding that was me acting on more of my lower level pleasures and like
animalistic instincts.
Exactly. So the moment I would feel something, I have to like act on it immediately to just get that quick feeling that I was looking for and whatnot. So what has everyone masturbating journey has looked like, and why do you do it now?
So I definitely started young also because my stepmother, she and I were having a conversation about, you know, just having sex, and I told her I was thinking about it, and she told me, you know, you shouldn't be letting anybody touch your own body until you know how to please yourself. So she, you know, we talked about masturbating. She bought me my first toy, and it was just up from there. And before, like you said, it was just me acting on just, you know, pure sexual pleasure, nothing more. But now I definitely I mean, I still use it as a pleasurable tool, but I'm just more aware of what I'm bringing in, what I'm thinking about, and what I want to come of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I, you know, and that's why, well, anyways, let me just, because I don't want to, you know,
okay, so is masturbation for you more so for your own pleasure, but to also manifest outward things towards you? Okay.
Yeah, an attraction thing.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, I get that. What's up with you and your journey?
Funny, I didn't really think about it until you said I was a little kid humping teddy bears, and I'm like,
yeah,
let's
quote unquote.
Let's forget I said that.
Right? She quoted you.
Every time I saw a big teddy bear, I'm like, I love this one.
Oh my god. Okay, so I just remember being young and being over a family friend's house. She was like an aunt, and since the dawn of time, I used to have those underwear with the days of the week on there. I would always put my hand in my pants. I lightweight have been obsessed with the Al Bundy thing since I was a little kid.
Wait, what?
Like Al Bundy, he used to sit on the couch with his hands in his pants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Al Bundy used to do that. He would always sit on the couch with his hands in his pants.
I don't know why. I thought you said Ted Bundy. I'm like, wait, what?
He did it too.
Oh my god.
I'm like, is this some type of trend I'm not familiar with? Okay, I got you.
No, Al Bundy from Married with Children.
Thank you.
He would always have his hands in his pants. And I did too. I was always obsessed with my hand being in my pants. Noticed my son with his hand in his diaper, and I was like, is this hereditary? But I mean, he's not touching anything. He's not that obsessed with his winky, even though he pees and stuff. He doesn't care. But now thinking back, I did used to touch myself, but not for anything to come of it. I don't even think I cared once I started getting hair. Like, I just never cared.
Yeah.
And I told you I was never like a hornball or any of that. Very late masturbator. Late, like 24-ish. And my first toy was a toothbrush from Dollar Tree.
I I just can't.
It worked. It worked. I'm telling you. If you got the
electric
toothbrush.
Did you put a condom on that?
Toothpaste, girl.
Did you brush your hair first and then
the toothpaste would give you this invigorating? No, I'm just kidding.
The cooling effect.
Right. No, I'm just kidding.
Effect.
No toothpaste, y'all, but no, for real. Dr. Fresh toothbrush at Dollar Tree will get you all the way right.
Oh my god. What did you use it as?
Like a clitoral stimulator, not like a dildo.
No, like a bullet.
She brushed the inside. She was like, clean it while I'm in there.
Cleaning her walls.
No, but no, it worked. And it was really just because I was like, I have been celibate for years at this point. Maybe like this was like my third or almost fourth year.
Wait, did you have sex before you ever masturbated?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And that's what I was going to say. So for me, once I got to the point where I wanted to have sex, I was like in love. You know, I was in like puppy dog, you know, like my first love. Mm-hmm. So I went straight from nothing, don't kiss me, to, oh, I got a hickey, to, oh, now I'm fucking. So I skipped over the whole thing. But my grandma used to have Playboy magazine, so I knew what all the parts were. I had like a straight A in health. I knew exactly what was what. So I wasn't curious. I didn't have to get a mirror and be like, what's that? Like, I knew what everything was from rap songs, from like,
rap songs?
Yeah. I just knew.
What did they teach you?
What rap songs were you listening to?
Like Lil' Kim, like when she
described the anatomy.
No, but just how it should work and how it should feel, and if it's squirt and this and that, so when stuff would happen, I'm like, yeah, but that's in your mouth.
She's an entertainer. So she is actually saying things to stimulate this idea and this fantasy of what it could be like.
Yes. So when I was experiencing things, I'm like, oh, this is a little Kim, man. It's great. So I wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, I never felt the need to do nothing crazy. Like, when you think of, like, rap lyrics, like, some and she creaming down the da-da-da-da. So I'm like, oh, when I'm fucking and I see cream, I'm like, yes, this is exactly what Dr. Dre said was going to happen.
She said I learned that from all rap songs. That's how I learned about sex.
That's how you know what to expect.
So my question is, okay, so if this was, because honestly, I don't even think that's not like I think that's actually pretty normal because it's not like we are in these homes and people are and our parents
are telling us,
are saying like, hey, do you know about sex? Some of them don't even know about sexual energy, so you know, can't blame them. But you know, I wouldn't be too surprised because I also had an idea of sex before I even had sex, was that sex was going to look like this from movies. You know, like you thought that it was going to be this slow, sensual thing that turns into this and you like, oh my God, I'm not a virgin anymore. And that was beautiful and amazing. And he took care of me, and it's like, no, that's not realistic.
My first dude was a hoe, so I actually had a great first sexual experience. Shout out Chris if you I love you forever because he really held it down. So he was young.
You enjoyed your first time?
Yes, because he took it so serious because he knew it was my first time. So it was like clearly it wasn't the best sex I've ever had to date.
Right,
but it was a good first experience. Like I didn't have that. Like, I didn't feel anything. It was quick. It was this. Like, no. Like, I got all of the stuff. And he was only like 3 months older than me. But he had started having sex when he was like 12. And he had sex with like 17-year-olds when he was like 13. So he was like, I know, a thought. But that was just like life in the hood. And he was cute. Like, Chris was fine. Especially like Kitty fine. Like, fine. Like, J-Bug Bow Wow. Had that whole little mixed look going. So girls are going to, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like his first real girlfriend. And so, yeah, my first time was great. But, yeah, I was a late masturbator. I clearly had curiosity, like sexual curiosity young, but I never acted on it or anything like that. When Claire, I started having sex at 15. But But yeah, I took a break for a few years. I was celibate for almost 4 years. Coming out of celibacy, I had sex and then started masturbating. Like, I had sex one time, well, for 1 week. Long story. And then I started masturbating after that, and I was like legit, no joke, addicted. Like, completely addicted. And then that was like a start of like a new sexual energy for me. So after that, I got into like recording sex and, you know, all of that.
Like
recording yourself.
Recording us, you, me, whatever.
Okay, gotcha.
Phone sex, like all of that. Like, it was just like a gateway. Masturbation was a gateway to basically all things sex for me.
Okay.
Because before that, I was like, turn on the lights, lay down, make the bed. Like, it's a ritual. You know what I mean? It was really more like, whatever. Like, no, after I started masturbating.
Some church people.
Right. I heard church people was
Keep
freaky.
your clothes on.
No, don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. No,
Lie on
it
top
wasn't
of each other.
Thrust. No.
Missionary position only.
No, but after that, it was like, and honestly, it was because it was my first time watching porn and my first time masturbating. So I had seen books, but I had never seen the act, you know, so it was interesting. It was an interesting little wave. But I think that everything you go through sexually, like, lines you up for where you are supposed to be. So, like, now I'm in, like, a pretty serious long-distance relationship, and I'm not a hornball, and I can control my energy, and I'm very sexually disciplined, and I know how to do all the freaky shit via FaceTime. And, you know, so I just feel like I had to live through that to get to where I am now.
Okay. And how has your masturbating journey been and looked like for you?
Mine was really young as well. Like you said, I don't even remember what age I was. But I had orgasms since I was like super young.
Wow, really?
Yeah, from when I first started masturbating immediately. Did you? So you didn't?
Well,
You just did it because it felt good?
It's like there was things that was happening, but it was I don't know how to explain what the feeling was. I just know it felt like something, and I only wanted to keep it to myself. So I was actually kind of turned off by men anyway in general. So I wasn't interested in having sex. Because
just
I'm
the
like,
feeling.
Yeah, just
no,
the
that's
feeling.
what I was. I didn't watch porn when I was that young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, this feels kind of good. Like rubbing on something. Like I remember even being in the pool as a kid. Those noodles that you put in your.
Oh right.
I was like rubbing on. I'm like rubbing. Yeah,
I used to sit around the
when
pole
you're young and curious, you get or like jacuzzi.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a hot tub, you're just like, oh, that feels kind of
It's true.
No, so that was the start of it for me. It was just this feels good, the animal instinct thing. Later, like it elevated to watching porn. Still, I didn't get super creative. I didn't even really use toys for like the longest time until I got older and got more comfortable with my body and got more experimental with masturbation. At first, I literally just stuck to the same thing. And there was no experimentation, but I realized...
As far as for yourself?
Yeah, with myself. It was just like, I know how to do this real quick. I'm just going to get off real quick. You know, same thing, just rub out real quick. There was no... But then once you experiment with other things, you get into deeper, different types of orgasms. I don't even watch porn to orgasm anymore.
Ooh, let's get into it.
Yeah, it's just I don't need that visual sexual stimulation because it's elevated to a better, more intense relationship with my body where I can create that without that distraction. So even I'm not to that point yet where I can do this, but you can even just have energetic orgasms.
I think I talked to you about when I was doing my last week when I was doing my chakra, and when I got to the heart, I got to the throat, the head, like my vagina was throbbing, and I kept feeling like, oh my god, what's going on? And the noise start coming out, and it would feel like, you know, like an energetic penetration. Well, obviously that's what it was, but now continuing to do it, I'm just like, wow. So, you know, like, most of the time we think we are like doing these like big spiritual things and we're taking ourselves to the higher levels, when really we still have so much focusing to do on our lower half of our body, because we still got to focus on security and comfort and these things that so I just know so many people who are ready to take it there, where like being able to now like do the Reiki on myself, I'm noticing like all of this work I thought I was doing, where a lot of it was down here and here, and you know, that's where a lot of it starts. So, but
yeah, you realize how much not gone. How do you say it? How much is not trapped, but how much is just harnessed. You know what I mean? And when I really started to cognitively release physically, I honestly just became a better person. I just got better at everything. I had better follow through. I had better communication. I had better understanding. Like, you know, like I feel like that really allowed me to tap into all of my other like spiritual forces.
Okay, so I have a question. So, because some people may believe it to be so, some don't, but do y'all feel like spirituality and sexual energy are connected?
Yes.
Spirituality and sexual
But why?
energy are connected.
For those who may believe that it's not, and it doesn't have no correlation. No, yes.
So first, I want to make a point, because I think a lot of people think that orgasm is the physical, and that's where that like barrier is there. When you realize that it's all energetic, that's when you can connect it to spirit more.
Yeah.
So
especially add, how she said is mostly energetic, and to feel the energy is also breath. Like a lot of
so the tantra, breath work. So if you notice when you're having sex, like you get distracted, you are not feeling it as much, you can't come right away, or if you're too drunk, your mind's somewhere else. If you notice, it's all in your mind. You could rub whatever parts you want down there, and it's not going to do anything unless your mind is in that place. Like, you go to the doctor and they're checking down there, you're not like, oh, this feels so great, you're touching my body parts. No. So it all starts with that mindset and that energy that's flowing, and the intention of what you're doing, and like, yeah, the intention basically of touch and of where your energy is going towards. And if you go into breath work, tantra, talking about kundalini, chakras, and incorporating all that into your sex life, all that spiritual work, that is what elevates anything sexual. That is where you are going to get the ultimate feelings that you've ever felt in your life.
Orgasm.
Yeah, it's not going to come from the physical stimulation at all.
Yeah, I agree. And were you about to say something?
Yeah, so I don't this is it was a case, you know, Law and Order is based on real cases. The dude raped a girl, and she, when they did her exam after, you know, they take her to the hospital, she was like, well, it was a, you know, female, you know, the black chick on there that does the things. And when he got on stage, he was like on stand to testify that it was consensual. She's like, no, it wasn't. And so I think that argument is what confuses a lot of people, because I may not be attracted to Leslie, but if Leslie rubs on my vagina, it will probably get wet, and you know, and she will be thinking one thing where I may be thinking something else, or I could be asleep, or I could be unconscious, or who knows, you know what I mean? So I think that fixation on the physical part, that bodies are going to do what they're going to do. Like if a dude sees something that he's attracted to, he's probably going to get erect. You know what I mean? So I think that
Well, so I think that's why having this conversation about masturbating is important, because most people's idea of masturbation is to release something outwardly, right? Where it's really an inner body type of practice, and it's really sacred for every individual. So
on a different level.
Yeah.
And especially for males and females in different ways.
Right.
I learned that from you.
So like when you're masturbating, to not be in situations where you are uncontrollably being controlled by something out of you use masturbation to get closer to your body and have more of a body connection and control over that, because then you're behaving very low and you're being very animalistic and controlled by other stimuli. Yeah, around you.
Sexual impulses.
Yeah, because...
And I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with either one. But, I mean, with that. You know what I mean? I think it's just time and place. And I think that there's levels, to things. And then I think that when especially for myself, I'll just speak for myself. When I was younger, I was much more, susceptible to different circumstances and things like that. Like now, I can't have sex if anybody else is in the house.
Oh my God.
Or anybody else is in the room. Like even if it's my kid, his kid, I'm like,
you just took a thought out of my head.
This is so awkward for me. And it's because when I was younger, my first episodes of sex was sneaking. So we sneaking here, sneaking there. So it puts me back to that.
I feel like with the idea of sex and masturbating, that we should remove the idea of secrecy, because then it becomes...
It's not about it being a secret. It's more about exposure. So, my dude's older, so he has a teenage son. So, he's 14. So, he knows that he's getting into girls and sexual abuse. So, the last thing he wants is like... And my dude's not a bad-looking dude or anything like that. We just have a almost 10-year age difference. So, it's... his younger stepmom. I'm younger than his mom. And, if he ever was to find me on Instagram, he'd be like, oh, shoot, daddy girlfriend kind of cold. Like I would imagine, I would be like a Stacy's mom at the school.
Stacy's mom. It's God. It's the last one.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So for him, it's just like image, exposure. I don't want my son's first inkling of sex to be him in here with the Fashion Nova. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
what do you want it to be? Because what would it look like?
Look here, that ain't my kid, so I have to respect that thing. Now for my son, having a boy and being a mom, he knows what booty. He's like, mommy, that's your booty. Like, like he could see me in a swimsuit. He saw a girl on Instagram in a swimsuit. It's like, mommy, that's your booty. You know what I mean? So he knows booty. He knows boobs. He knows private part. Like he knows all this. So it's just different. You know what I mean? And I think that it's timing. So when he feels like, he told him, like, when you're ready for sex, come to me. So I think after they have that talk, it won't be as big of a deal. But it's very much a pins and needles situation in his household. As for me, because my son is infinitely curious and he repeats things, and he's at that age where you can't talk that down. He's like, you're Winky. He told me he had to pee one morning. He's like, yeah, because my winky's so big. And it's like...
his winky?
And my winky's big. I gotta pee. Like, and it's stuff like that. And it's like, there's just you just gotta let him roll with it. So imagine if he saw like an erect grown-up winky. Like, who knows what he would go to school and say.
That I saw a grown erect winky. Like, I think that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, at what point is like teaching and educating sex is inappropriate? Like, because I feel like the secrecy creates this feeling and this idea. So when I start humming teddy bears,
bad feeling.
I have to hide
that you're doing
I have to. I don't feel comfortable coming like, hey, I'm ready to talk about sex. No, why? Because I've been practicing these things without even talking to you about it. So it's just like.
And see, my thing was I was embarrassed to ask about it. So because everybody was so secrecy about it. Oh, it's a bad thing. You don't do that till you're married. You don't do that until you are in love. You don't touch yourself. That's don't do that. So when I did start to have those urges at such a young age, I was afraid to ask about it because it was supposed to be something,
like taboo.
And it's like, why?
I agree. Yeah.
I get that. I just think that it's inkling. So my son knows about, like I said, private parts, boobs, booty, whatever. And because
so he knows what all of them are called.
Yes, he knows them by identifying. Like he knows, and then he knows that I'll cover my boob. Like I have to cover my boobs, or turn around, so let me cover my boobs. Give people privacy. So like I taught him that. Why? Because now he's in a Head Start center. So he uses the bathroom, and sometimes people help people. But I'm always going to teach my son to communicate things to me that are out of the norm. Yeah. So like when he goes to the bathroom and when he wants to poop and stuff like that, he's taught to go in by yourself. I taught him how to use the bathroom by himself. He can do everything by himself. Flush the toilet, lift the seat. I taught him the whole ritual repetitively so that he doesn't need as much assistance to mitigate his exposure to creeps that like to be. And I told him, I said, no one ever has to be in a stall with you with a closed door. You tell them to wait and you will let them know. And he does. He does it to me. It's like, you done yet? No, I'll let you know. And then he say, hey, could you come wipe my bottom? Yeah. And like, that's what you're supposed to do because you know what I mean? And that's what I taught him. So as far as privacy at this rate, that's where we're at now. Yeah. And then when he gets to 2 or 3 years from now, we'll talk about other things. The way people touch you, the way you feel when people touch you. If someone ever touches you and you feel weirded or creeped out, you tell me. You know what I mean? And so I just think it's tears to the conversation. Do I think I should be fucking in the house with that teenage boy? Yes. But it's his you know what I mean? It's his. He has other children, and he's never been able to be a hands-on, live-on
How old
parent.
Is your son is the question.
My son is 3. His son is 14. Okay. So he's never had that live-in, this is how I want it to be experience. So for him, having that exposure authority is important to just know that I've been there since you've been born. I know what you've been exposed to. I know what we talked about. I know all of these things. The things that have went, I'm not gonna say wrong, but have went the way they've went because those other children lived in their mother's homes primarily. Things that he didn't necessarily agree with, but he didn't have say over. So I just let him have his way. But I was like, like in real life, we'll literally get a room at the hotel around the corner when I'm in town. Because he's like, oh, well, Chris got a sleepover. Now it's 2 kids in there listening. You know what I mean? And it's like weird. And it's so,
I definitely get it.
And it's like, so it's like, I think it's levels too. And I think that Chris is old enough. I was like, if you think he ain't watched some Spank Tube yet, you're nuts.
Spank Tube?
Is that a new website or something? Oh, you made it up.
Oh, girl, I'm like,
real.
She said what?
What is Spank Tube?
Okay. So I'm trying to be modest, but yeah, Spank Tube is real. It's where you can earn money.
And you just said I don't know.
You can spank people for money, and you can like upload your spank videos and make a lot of money off of it.
Interesting.
I'll show y'all after.
Is that really a thing?
It's really a thing. It's called Spank Tube. Oh. And you submit your videos to it just like Pornhub.
So since we're talking about tubes and stuff like that, might as well get on the topic of porn. We might as well get on the topic of toys and using other things to help you.
Cucumbers?
Oh God.
No, you said other things. I'm wondering where we going.
I want to talk about yoni wands.
Yoni wands?
The crystal
anyone used yoni wands?
No, I've never.
The crystal wands? I have a rose quartz one. It's a wand, but I didn't know it was for that. I got it from the crystal store.
Sometimes the wand.
She said it was a wand, like to cast a spell on you.
Yeah, with my rose quartz.
No, those for your vagina. It's for masturbation.
Yeah, I just saw someone post the crystal formed as the penis.
Oh yeah, I love that.
I have one. I have an obsidian one. It's about this big, and it's like curved and super super heavy. And then I have one that's a little smaller. It's red jasper,
like a yoni egg.
No, so it's like that.
Got you.
Yeah, it's like the other one is like actual like penis, like dildo, and the other one I have is little.
So crystal.
So that one is more. Those are what?
Someone said all that stuff okay for y'all, but a man having a toy is frowned upon, like a pocket pussy. When I was talking to a guy, he had a pocket pussy. I couldn't believe it. I can honestly say I just couldn't believe it. There's just too much energy and life coming from a vagina, a womb, that I couldn't imagine someone
trying to copy it with a
putting their penis in a pocket pussy to feel warmth.
Well, that's another reason why I started using the wands instead of silicone toys and stuff, because the crystal wands hold energy, so you're actually doing more healing work, and the orgasm's more intense from the crystals.
Can you say that louder for everyone listening?
The healing work and the orgasm's more intense if you're using crystals. Yeah. The little wands you can use for trauma work, and that's mostly what it's for. So you can actually press different parts of your walls and the inside of it, just like you would be doing trigger point work on your body, because you can actually hold trauma in the vagina. So if you feel like a painful or weird spot, you actually press it in there and release it. You can release trauma that you're holding. Because sometimes sex hurts for women, and that's trauma. It shouldn't hurt for it to be in there. So this actually heals that stuff.
I agree. So
he said, now a man gotta turn into a crystal to please a woman.
Yes.
Basically, step it up.
Not turn into a crystal. Okay.
So the obsidian one though is pretty big. I don't even have to like you just like put it in there and like push.
The one with the hook.
Yeah, like you just hold it in there. It's like but yeah, a lot of
this. One of Ike, one of 1K.
So and commenting about him saying now a man has to turn to a crystal.
You better.
Actually, your penis is this beautiful magical wand that has no energy because y'all are not taking care of y'all penis. Also, now, since we're talking about masturbation, we should talk to the man that's in the live about semen retention and understanding and using your sexual energy to actually heal your body and your sexual experiences and trauma. Because I really do feel like when people start to behave promiscuously, that is obviously, I keep saying the same thing, but it's animalistic, and it comes from a lot of trauma and like a lot of blocked energy. So you quickly have a feeling you gotta get it off, and you are losing nutrients and minerals. So you're depleting yourself more than satisfying yourself the way you think you are. So
what would be an appropriate amount to come?
So
do we know like what's too much, what's too little for a man?
I think the man with his
ejaculating. I should say ejaculating, because you can actually orgasm as a man without ejaculating.
Oh, okay, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, they're two separate things. You can ejaculate and not have an orgasm.
Right. I just feel like with that man's personal practice of semen retention, he will start to know what that vital energy feels like for him. And because
when you can release
because I know most men who does it, they can actually feel what it does to them when they finally do ejaculate, and they're like, dang, I should have held it in.
That post-nut clarification is what they call it.
So is this like 4 days they should do this? Or
every time
just during sex?
Every time that they have sex, especially when they are with a partner. Obviously, for them, it's a great practice to do with themselves, but when you are practicing semen retention, when you are also like exchanging that energy with a woman, the life bringer, like that creative energy, is necessary to allow that journey to take its course. So you want to go to the cosmos, but you can't go to the cosmos if he ejaculated and now
unless you take her there. Yeah, so you have to extend it to take her there.
Yeah, because that's
so
what
that
we
you
do.
Have a better. Yeah,
we bring people from that area.
I just didn't know if you meant like for them to not say you have sex one day, for them to not even ejaculate and like hold it till a whole nother day.
No, but okay. I mean, but so that's usually what it could feel like for them, because what will happen is once when they feel that little feeling to like ejaculate, what they need to do is breathe and take that energy and allow it to like go through their bodies, and they can actually awaken their kundalini energy.
And how long do you think they should be able to hold it? like an hour?
So what's going to happen is
individual?
It's not even holding it anymore. They send the energy somewhere else. So then now you have powered yourself without removing it, because it's very vital energy and nutrients and minerals that's coming out of them. But I'm not a man, so
this is like men getting really in tune with their own bodies.
Yes.
So that they know when the right time would be to finally release that, basically.
Yeah. She said, take me to the cosmos, daddy.
Period.
No, but for real.
Oh, here. You can look.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think that in general, we had some questions from men. Somebody asked, what's the difference between coming and having an orgasm?
Okay.
Coming is physical.
Ejaculation.
Okay, so let's define them how we
energetic.
say. So come, ejaculation, yeah. The liquid is physical. The process of an orgasm or the experience, orgasm is an experience. So it's a feeling thing. So like
it's mastering your libido. From my understanding, like when you are orgasming, because libido deals with psychic and sexual energy, that it's not just sex, it's the way you are moved through life, like that energy and stuff like that. So when you master your libido and things like that, when you feel that energy coming about during your sexual pleasures, it's like learning how to use that and take you to the next level.
So yeah. So I like to tell people, like, coming is from the waist down, orgasm is from the waist up. Like, if you have an orgasm, you will know you had an orgasm, and it's not about shaking or squirting or.
Squirting is actually female ejaculation, so it's not orgasm.
I was gonna say
that's in the ejaculating category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they say like make it do it, it's you make it do it. Like, baby, like
make it happen.
You're riding to boat. Like that's all I can do. Like what?
No.
Like no. I can't focus. But yeah, so it's like. Those things are just like, like separate. Like, I like to say like orgasms, and then I think it's tears to orgasm. Well, now I know it's tears to orgasm.
Should we bring that up?
Oh yeah, we definitely should bring that up.
Oh,
I'm still a little jealous. I kind of want to elbow her. Not there yet, so it's cool. I have a new goal to reach. In my minutes, I gotta get my minutes up. But no. So I like to tell people that orgasming is like an outer body experience that you are having inside of your soul. And honestly, I felt like,
what makes the outer body?
Because it's like nothing that I can reach and explain it, and that's what makes me say it's out of body, because nothing I've experienced in body is like my orgasms.
So that's why I feel like we're having this conversation, because the idea is to bring to everyone, show ourselves that it is inner body. It is inner body. It's literally when you are on this journey and you are doing your spiritual work. One of the biggest things to master is your energy, that sexual energy, so like, that kundalini energy. Like,
now I can. So for the self-mastery part of it, that's fine. My thing is like, I think that in the past I thought I've had orgasms because my legs shake or I drooled or like fell off something, and so I thought all of that was it. And it was like, when you think of everything you've been through sexually and how good you felt and what happened and how wet everything was, the bed, like when you think of all of that, and then you think of like feelings, like this is better than when I came a lot, this is better than when I shook a lot, this is better than when I got my booty licked, this is better than when I got my toes sucked, like this is better than everything I've experienced with another person or with myself. Yeah. So then I say, now I know what this feels like. So my first orgasm was with a person, and that just comes from having sex before I masturbated. So then I didn't think, I thought that I needed that to feel like that again. And then when I did it and didn't have penetration and was like, oh shit. And I was like, this is it. Like now I understood the energy. So I didn't understand the connectivity and all of that until I did it myself. Mm-hmm. And now I guess when I do it myself,
said that toe sucking.
I was just about to say, suck your own toes. No, I'm just kidding.
What? No.
I need you to be like,
I can't suck my own toe, but okay. Okay, now.
Someone else asked how you harness that energy.
Okay, so
for the orgasm.
For the men? Is that a man asking or a woman?
It looks like a girl.
I feel like when it comes to harnessing any energy or working with any energy is your breath.
I was just
and you know, prana, and then sometimes and most time it could also be your mind as well. But that's just with focusing on your breath. So that's how I feel about it. That's how I've experienced it. Most of the time, even when I'm with my partner, sometimes I don't want to finish because I have some work to do internally. So I need that energy to help me work on things that's, you know, as far as like security and feeling beautiful and
Brandon's calling you. Someone's calling you.
Being comfortable
it's
in my skin. Oh.
You can deny it. Just decline.
Did it pause?
Yep.
Good.
Oh man,
Okay.
that went by. That hour went by really fast.
Yeah, it did. But
Can I see my phone, or it's in the middle of doing that?
yeah, we could probably switch it. You want to switch it?
Yeah, switch phones
Okay.
just in case. So I
My
can.
camera's bad, remember?
Oh, I got you.
I'm on 20%, but I don't care.
Okay. One moment, y'all. We about to switch out the phones on our live.
I'm sorry.
About to
No,
go
you're
pay some
good.
bills. We'll be right back.
Right.
I was gonna say you may have to plug that.
I'm gonna tell him to give me like 15 minutes.
Okay.
The outside.
Mm-hmm.
Might want to clean the back of her camera.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know. I just have to adjust it, and I always come and sit like this after they.
Okay, I think maybe we should, before you leave, I want you to talk about more of. Maybe we should go
Your
into.
experience.
Yeah. Just
Well, I'm jealous.
you get some more talk. You don't have to share that if you don't want to, but
Yeah,
it's more
I was
so
gonna,
the energetic and spiritual aspect of all of
Yeah,
it.
I had something to say about. Can I see my phone?
Can I post this really quick?
Oh, yeah.
1 second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had something to say about.
You can put part 1.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to say, before I forget, let me text the group. If we want to do an excursion next week for
We're
part
still
2.
recording though right now, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
still
we are.
recording. Yeah, I'm recording.
Oh my God.
I'm listening.
Well, what were we talking about?
Okay, so I was talking about how you can harness the sexual energy. In my personal experience, it has been breath work and breathing and mind to body connection.
You just gotta finish that.
Because I feel like we all know
Masturbate part 1.
that feeling, you know,
That
and
gut.
where it starts, right? And then
Some people don't know that feeling.
no, but what I'm trying to say is we all know that feeling because we all feel it.
Gotcha.
Some people don't know what they can do with it furthermore, but that feeling leads us to, I gotta get it out, or okay, yeah, I'm about to come, you know, and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, if we was to breathe, hold it, and send it, then we can transcend with it, you know. So
Let me know y'all ready.
yeah, no, you could have just started back up, honestly.
Did this
I'll take a
post?
picture.
I don't
think
know what's
so.
happening.
I could check on the page.
It's like frozen. Okay, yeah, I posted.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, I'll talk about how I harness my energy.
Yes.
Hold on.
So, but yeah. And then,
So you said yours is breath work. I would like to get more into that. Mine is mostly just the mental focus, almost like a meditation. Just I have to be in the right mindset. For masturbation, I like to be in the manifesting mindset, like powerful mindset, confident. The more I actually was doing some like spell work manifesting with orgasm, and it actually made my orgasm stronger. The more I think of just being the woman that I want to be, I just think of how I am so powerful. I have everything I need. I honestly just think of having like a beautiful life and think of everything, and that makes my orgasm stronger, and that harnesses that energy. It's just manifesting who I want to be as a person and who I see myself as. If I'm thinking like, oh, I wonder if like, well, this would be more during sex, but like I wonder if my body looks weird, or you're worried about what's going on at work or with your kids, or you're stressing about money, you can't harness that energy thinking about that negative stuff. So you have to have an elevated mindset to have that kind of energetic orgasm. And we have that portal within us, that energy portal, to bring life into this world, and also to bring whatever we want into this world through that manifestation, through that orgasm. We create through that. So thinking of those things as creating them and bringing them to existence, we have so much power to do that. So that's super important for me when I'm thinking about that stuff, and that just gets me even more hype. But it's definitely not always like that, especially during sex. Like if you're just doing whatever, or you just want to get off really quick. But ideally, that is what is the best for me.
And you know, in talking about elevation and transcending, masturbating, not even masturbating, but having an orgasm, not only on a spiritual level but also scientific, it also, you know, releases all those endorphins and chemicals into your brain, all the energy, you know, into your crown chakra that, you know, elevates you also, and that's just on a scientific standpoint. So, you know, it does it all, you know?
For that reason, back to what we said in the beginning, and that's just part of the journey and part of the learning. And so once you get to a point in your sexual journey, your physical journey, your spiritual journey, it will change how, once you get a certain place in your sexual journey, it will change how you look at things spiritually. And I think for me, that cutoff was having a child and just understanding what I could do. And then when you get to a certain point in your spiritual journey, it's like, it changes the way you have sex, because it's like, I can't be doing this with anybody. I could make another kid with you and be stuck in another or be in another karmic cycle and making another birth chart, making another birth, you know what I'm saying? So when you think of all of that, you really have to be a certain level of invested in the person that you choose to exchange with. And so for me, if I'm mad at my dude, I can't have sex with him. And that's not a funny thing. You sleep on the couch, or it's just literally like, until we communicate past where we're at, my womb does not feel safe with you. You know what I mean? While I'm upset, while I'm whatever, because I feel like your job, your responsibility for receiving me is to make sure that I'm comfortable and I'm secure. And now I don't have to be like, slap on the ass happy all the time, but you know, if I'm dissatisfied, you cannot satisfy me. You know what I mean? And so it will just shift the way you see, you know, like certain things. So like, I'm not judgmental at all. I don't think anything's wrong with casual sex, but why would you want to casually have sex? You know what I mean? I don't think anything's wrong with anything in particular. I just don't understand energetically what you need to do. And like now where I'm at now, I really have a problem, or I struggle to understand people that's like, I can have sex with no connection and no this and that. Like, your mind may not be connected to it. You think because you separate your mind, but your body is still there. And that life energy in you and their life energy in them, their sacral energy, you've swapped that. So it's in there whether you want to admit it or not. And that's why purging and detoxing and crystal energy and healing and, you know, like masturbating on your cycle when you're ultimately releasing, when you're shedding those walls. That's why all of that is so, the people are like, yeah, play with yourself on your, like, yes, I do. Because I need all that shit that I used to do before I knew what I was doing, gone. You know what I mean? So it's like, a lot of times, you know, we listen with that judgmental mind. And, you know, I think it just comes a time in a healing journey where you just have to have understanding for everything you've done, everything that's been done, you know, have forgiveness with yourself and for others, and then do better. Because that's the trick right there. It's the do better part. Like, now that I am where I am, I can't do what I used to do. I do a lot of other stuff, but I ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? So I just think it's just so interesting.
Okay, so before we start the live, Flora was talking about, how she harnessed the energy and stuff like that. So I know you talked about it before, like manifesting with Masterbate and stuff like that. But can y'all kind of tell people how do you actually do it for those that are interested in
how to manifest?
Yeah, how to use their sexual energy to create things in this world and attract it to them.
Well, that's what I kind of meant by imagining myself as
where you want to be in life, where you see yourself.
Yeah, just it's like self-love a lot, or I'll just think of situations that I want to be, like me on an island somewhere, like carefree, things like that. Manifesting where I want to be, manifesting what I am now, because for me manifesting isn't like a list of things you check off of where you want to be, like goals. It's right now.
Yeah.
This is what I am now. I'm rich and I'm on an island right now.
Yeah.
Like I can do that right now. Because if you're saying that that's going to happen in the future, that you're not harnessing that as
you're not embodying that reality.
Yeah. So it's just believing in what you want. And believing that it's already yours. Not even want. Want shouldn't even be vocabulary. Just owning that this is you, this is your life, you're a powerful being, your energy source, and anything you want is yours.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So, like you guys had said earlier, just a lot of conscious breathing, a lot of deep breaths. I like to breathe in through my nose, I'll breathe outward through my mouth, and along with that, I also will say whatever I want to out loud. I'll say it so that I can hear it and so that it becomes, real. It's not just a thought anymore. I'll speak life into myself while I'm doing it. And like she said, whatever I want to do, whatever I want to feel, whatever I want to be, I just today I'm going to be happy. I'm going to make X amount of money. I'm going to feel this way today. I'm going to dress like this. I'm going to feel beautiful. And it just takes me there every single time. And it does it every single time,
Yeah.
So just, speaking that love and that life into yourself while you're practicing.
Instead of like visualizing that sexual act, you can literally just visualize that kind of positive stuff, and it'll get you to the same place. It's crazy because it's self-love that's doing it.
And that's why I when we had first on the episode, I had said that's our first energy center, because and like you had said, I wanted to say that before I forgot. Like you had said, if I know how much I can accomplish with this energy, why am I sharing it with someone who's on the same frequency? Because what are we accomplishing at the end of the day? Like, why am I doing this?
Unhealthy soul tie that you're gonna have to break.
But it's so crazy because people don't believe in a lot of people do not believe in soul ties through sexual acts. I know, it's interesting, but it's true.
How you think you get them?
Some people don't even believe in them
at all.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cute.
I gotta head out. You guys want me to talk about my few-minute long orgasm?
Yes. Yes, before you leave, let us know.
No, I said it. No, that's what I was saying about different orgasms, though, and elevating your orgasm, whether it's by yourself or with somebody else. I had an orgasm last night that I felt like was the longest orgasm I ever had.
She's whispering.
I know I'm mumbling it. I'm like
Mariah Carey.
Real?
Right.
No.
Laura, what did you just say?
What did you talking about that?
Want me to say it for you?
Like the longest orgasm.
The
what?
I said it was like 5 minutes long.
The longest.
She had the longest orgasm she ever had. It was about 5 minutes long.
That's how it felt, at least. I might have been in like a time where you
could have been in the
time
cosmos.
stops. Yeah. Like you know what I mean, but it just felt
no
like
clock
it
up
was
there.
lasting for. You said there's no clock up there.
There's no clock in the cosmos.
Someone said, "Don't leave, Laura."
Yeah, so I hit an orgasm, like a normal one, and I just stayed there. And it didn't stop, and then it elevated to the next
She hit a
level.
pothole in East Cleveland.
Ended up in the cosmos.
It went even higher, and I was like, "Whoa, this is interesting."
Yeah.
I feel like that's been happening to me a lot lately, though. The more I get in touch with myself, the more I get in touch with sexual energy, you realize there's like so many different levels of orgasm and in connecting with your body that we had that sheet last week.
That's what I was talking about bringing up.
Put it in the story. I don't have my phone anymore.
I got it.
Put it in the story.
It said the different types of orgasms.
I'll pull it up. It's right here. So I could just read them really fast. So here's the different type of orgasms and pleasures. Okay, so you had the clitoris. So it's what I use as my coffee break orgasm. So it's fun, light, and sets the stage. Contrary to popular belief, this orgasm is like the side dish rather than the main course. Or like an appetizer, kind of.
And that's what mostly everyone is used to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the go-to.
That's the one I can
and the
do,
fastest.
so I'm going to do
Yeah.
it. But if you doing it, you're going to work. Roll up your sleeve.
Then you have the G-spot. So it's a little deeper physically and emotionally. These orgasms require more openness, trust, and willingness to let go. Then you have squirting, the intense release of the fluid from the G-spot being stimulated. So it's the nectar of the god.
It's not pee.
It's nectar.
Right.
I hate when people say it's just pee. No, it ain't.
Yeah. I actually had a friend.
Piss on me.
I had a friend who actually explained why it's not, and she was saying because you can't do both at the same time.
Yeah.
So I forgot what example she did, but it was a while ago. But
And
I'm like,
it comes from a different
good
place.
point, right?
It come from the urethra. It come from up here. If it's coming out of there, baby, that's it.
That's the nectar.
So then you got cervical. The cervix is the reflexology point for the heart. Okay, pause, because that's what I kind of want to talk about. So when you are masturbating, because it's a lot of lower body work, to connect it to a more higher part of your body, you need to make sure that you're open. So your physical body is positioned with your heart sticking out. So when you are pleasing yourself, what it will do is rise. But some people's issue is that they're tense, their spine is curved. It's like a lot of different things that don't allow the energy, right? The energy to release itself.
I masturbate just like this with the mirror.
You know, that should be our end of the show.
Imagine if you had an orgasm like this, right? You would know what it felt like. Usually,
when people over this tray.
When people start to feel the energy, what they'll start to do is kind of like shake, and then they'll curve, and they'll tense up, and then. But that's why breath work is important as well. Yeah, exactly. Keep your heart up.
If you are listening, stop what you're doing. Go to the YouTube and play that visual back, because that was hilarious.
So do a bridge pose.
Yeah,
so
keep your
learned
heart open.
From what's her name? Eve.
I love you.
Eve. I can't think of what her last name is, but she's the writer of the play Vagina Monologues, and she said
I performed in Vagina Monologues for 2 years. That's one of my favorite.
That's awesome. But that one thing that a common theme is to look at it. That's one of the first things they tell you is like get a mirror. So for me, when I'm doing my manifestation and masturbation, which I like to do on Fridays, yeah, of course, I literally like to do it just like this: mirror in front of the mirror, candles, oil up like it's a whole thing. Like I like to take a spiritual shower, and then I like to moisturize myself, feel my body, get my energy flowing, Reiki myself, and then I sit in front of the mirror. And I actually started part of this, and when I talk to people, they're always like, I don't know who that is, because they don't know our voices, because they don't watch. So I'm like, yeah, the one, and they're like, no, we don't know who it is, we don't know who's who.
Yeah.
So that's always funny for me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start recording myself. So instead of writing stuff down, when I'm like driving and I'm thinking all these great grand thoughts, I record myself in my manifestations. Like I ride through Brighton all, and I'm like, this is my house at such and such address, overlooking the lake, with solar windows and large, you know what I'm saying? Like I say those things and then I play those when
you're listening to it.
That.
I listen to myself while I masturbate when I do my manifestation ritual. So I'm literally thinking of things I am and then hearing myself tell myself what I am and what I have. And that is how I birth things into fruition.
I feel like the sound wave also plays a huge part in the bouncing off the inward energy and everything.
Well, I did a little debunk thing. I got that frequency reader app on my iPad, and I was testing the sound bowls and things if they are attuned to what they say they are. And a lot of the videos on like YouTube and a lot of the hertz on like Tidal were wrong. Like the frequency reader was picking up different frequencies.
And that's why a lot of people only choose certain sounds on YouTube, because a lot of them are fake.
Yeah, and
they don't resonate well at all.
Yeah.
Or the ad come in the middle of it. But so when I found out that those were wrong and not for my heart or not for my sacral, I was like, oh, this attunement is all off. And it's distracting. I can't like ding and ding at the same time. So I was like, you know what? This is the ding. Yeah, so I was like, this is awkward. But hearing me talk about what type of day I'm going to have, what type of life I have, what type of day I have, when I wake up in the morning is how I started it. It was just like on your way to work, talk to yourself about what type of day, and then I just started recording them because I found the voice recorder on the iPhone. I'm so late. And then I was like, oh, I don't have no hurts. I can listen to myself. What better to listen to manifest for me than me?
Right.
You know? So that's what I do. That's like my ritual for how I get things done. And I'm funny about it too. Like if I miss Friday or if I'm not feeling it, or if, like I had a horrible migraine this past Friday and I was thinking, how am I going to shake this migraine, go out to this party and do my ritual? So I skipped it. And I don't feel bad when I do, because I'm very big on intention and I never want to rush that type of energy. So it's like if it's not coming to you, just do it when you're compelled to do it. Do it when you feel powerful. Do it when you feel sexy. Do it when you feel like you're at your highest self.
Right.
Even if that's like a form of outward, like validation. Like I got on FaceTime one day and my friend was like, oh, your eyebrows look good. And I was like, do they? Because they not done.
Yeah,
they look good, and that compliment just put me in a space like, you know what, I look good. I'm about to, but yeah, like do it when your intentions are high. Like do it when you gotta
and also when you're vibrating high, not when you're.
Come on in. Who is it?
Goddess.
Okay, yeah, we said we was gonna let her in. I'm sorry, girl. I said 5 minutes. I lied. I'm so sorry. I meant 45 minutes.
Okay. Hey. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Okay, good.
Sorry for asking.
Yeah, no problem.
So I just want to, comment from the earlier conversation. I love this conversation. Well, I love all the lies, but I love this conversation specifically because I feel like it was very needed, especially for myself. But I don't really masturbate all like that. Like I'll do it every once in a while, maybe a couple times a month or whatever, but I just feel like I don't like it. Like I want to learn to like it more. I guess to know more so of myself, but for me, I don't know, I just like the physical body to body and the connection with the person, and then I like kinks and stuff, so it's kind of like hard to.
Wait, you like what?
Okay, Miss Freaky.
Kinks. What's a kink?
Kinks. Kinky.
like
toe licking.
Spank,
like spanking.
I like spank too.
Different stuff, toys and stuff.
Maybe not that.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I'm glad you brought that up. So because I was gonna eventually talk about that, but masturbating isn't always physical. So and
learned that from y'all.
yeah, and I realized that while I was practicing Reiki on myself, and when I got to my heart, I'm feeling these throbs. When I got to my crown, my throat, I'm feeling these feelings, and I'm having these sensations, and I'm being stimulated from moving and working with the energy that is already in me. So you don't always have to physically touch yourself, because again, I'm big on the libido. So that itself is an energy that exists within all of us, and it actually plays a part in how we actually behave every day, not even just with sex. So since we all harness that and have that, it's not, the libido isn't a physical thing, right? So you don't always have to physically do things to, one, manifest, to orgasm, to receive these sexual pleasures, because most of the pleasures are more energetic anyway, because obviously everyone know you wouldn't enjoy sex if you, as far as women, if you weren't feeling that person. So,
or what they were doing.
Yeah, so like, because I'm not big on masturbating either, but I am big on like loving on myself. So most of the time, if I wouldn't take myself there enough to even touch myself, I will be with myself naked in my bed. I want to feel the sheets on me. I want to feel like the stimulations of what it is to be me and the energy that I have. And then from there, I'm able to visualize and stuff like that. But I don't always need a physical act to help me get there.
For sure.
That makes sense.
And one of the things you can use, and it'll help you in your actual acts, is like, I believe in doing everything in front of the mirror when you're doing it for yourself.
Bingo.
Not necessarily other people in front of the mirror, with other people in mirrors, but with myself in mirrors. It's like I need it. Or even a camera. But you can do your Kegels. You can do sitting, mirror facing Kegels. And that, do some Kegels enough, and it'll activate the energy. And you'll be like, whoa. And you don't have to touch anything, but you can literally just
breathe,
do that. And if you get those little crystal yoni eggs and stuff like that, and just work with those energy, those things. And it's so funny because it's crystals that I never thought about it. It's like, why I never had any other type of yoni egg. So when I did that, I was like, why did that happen? So I had to go back in the house and say, oh no, this can't come to work today. You know, like, I'm gonna do a squat, it's gonna pop out, and I'm gonna be it's gonna be a mess. But I felt the energy, and I just thought about it, like, it's because this is a crystal. But so you can do crystal yoni eggs, you can do your Kegels, you can do your mindfulness and just sitting and grounding and just literally like pushing those, I always say blockages. I don't like to say negative energy. I don't like to say positive energy. I like to say remove blockages that I have hindering my flow of energy. And sitting in the grass, like, or on the sand or wherever, but ground your root and your sacral, and literally like mentally try to connect that to the earth to align you to get that energy. You know, like, for one, you're always going to have your preferences. You're always going to like what you like and prefer what you prefer. Because I prefer meat over plastic too. But I have a grand appreciation for both and what I can accomplish with both.
Yeah. So, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was about to say, and that is like kind of the biggest drive for me, is knowing what I can accomplish with that energy. And if I can accomplish nothing with you, then I'm gonna keep it, you know, to myself. But a crazy story about how powerful those Kegels are. I do them every time I get tattoos, because it literally it turns that pain into pleasure.
Really?
And I feel myself start to heighten during the experience, and then I can actually enjoy the needle to skin experience. So Kegels are very powerful.
That's good to know.
Yes.
Right, I'm not getting any more, but
I don't think I'm getting any more too.
for those who are thinking about getting tattoos,
Do Kegels during them.
right.
It's gonna
I
get
can
you
see
through.
that though, because a lot of times they say, think of something like I record my experiences sometimes, and I'm like, what was you looking at? And he's like, I couldn't look down. And it's like, why can't you look down? A lot of men, they'll say, I was thinking of basketball. They have to think of something else, because if they allow themselves to be they'll come quick.
Why? Because
they don't do.
they're not practicing and working with their sexual energy, so they are completely out of control and out of body.
So, but two, you know, my dude goes very
frustrating.
long spells without getting none. So that first one's always like,
That's
I'll
fine,
catch you
but
in 5. I'll give you
Still.
5. But yeah, no, that's
Still
part of it
discipline.
too. But that's a sign. So she's letting you know the red flags of if a man is disconnected from his winky.
But yeah, so overall, personally to me, masturbating is a self-mastering practice, right? So you want to experience arousal and a climax without touching. When you can do that, man as well, when you can do that, you there, right? You already in the cosmos, so you don't need someone to take you there. You want someone to meet you there.
Yes.
Everything after that is it's like a bonus. It's like, you know, cheese on the burger or like sprinkles on the sundae or whatever. But however you get to that point of where you feel your ultimate sexual satisfaction, I think that that's good for you. But I'll also stay open to other things because when you just said that, you like do it for yourself without whatever. Like, no, I ain't gonna say teach, but I guide my man on how to masturbate me, how to do everything.
But
you know,
is it
like, for me.
masturbating if he's doing it for you?
No,
I
not right.
just
Like
said.
fingering.
Stimulating.
Yeah, like I ain't gonna say it's like foreplay, but no, I'll literally like tell him like exactly how I like everything, how I want everything. I'll talk him through how I want, you know, like everything. I only have to do it once. Like once I want something new, or once I like, no, do it like this, like, and then you like communicate those things that pop into your sexual subconscious when you're doing them. Don't let people do what they want to do to you. Guide people into doing things
That's why I
that
say
you want.
masturbation is education upon what you like being done to yourself, you know?
I personally feel like, because I agree with you. I agree to extents though, because it's one thing to like show someone what to constantly do with you, but no one has mastered you like you, so only you know how to do that. So I do feel like it's important when you are with a partner. This is where tantra comes in and stuff like that, where y'all are doing work prior to the physical act of what,
Like the
y'all are
ritual
trying to,
of it.
right? And then there wouldn't be you wouldn't need to guide
You don't have to
anyone
have a
or map
conversation.
them what to do, because when you are there in the cosmos, when y'all are both in these energetic spaces, when both of y'all kundalinis has, you know, like reach each other, there's the energy talks for itself. It's direct communication. There's not, it's like second nature. Like you already know.
But I think
what
it's levels
do.
to that. I think that when you are dealing, and this is why sexual becomes spiritual, because as I get, you know, like higher, I have more demands. And so you have to be on a page with your partner to let them know what you're working on, what you're trying to accomplish, so that they can meet you there. Even if they don't feel like they have the capabilities to get there, or they don't grasp exactly what you're saying, you're speaking to their aura around them and their energy around them, so that when you're dealing with them, that energy can connect. Because I can tell you right now, my dude, I say kundalini, he like rice. He gonna think you're talking about he's not gonna know.
But you wouldn't have to say kundalini. You could say let's breathe. Who don't know what that is? Come on, let's be honest.
I'm
just saying,
how to
like,
breathe. But what I'm saying is that
no one's higher than no one, right? So there's terms that we may all have understood. There's places that we have reached, but that doesn't mean no one else can, and no one's low enough to not be there or capable of
everybody's there.
So I'm never
all call
gonna
it different stuff,
right? But I'm never gonna sit there and be in this sexual act with someone, and I'm not, because the only guide I'm doing is going to tell you how to get there yourself, so we could get there together or be there together. I don't want to constantly tell you how to please my physical body, when this is more than just a physical moment right now. So I'm trying to help you transcend. We need to transcend. So it's just like every time we are in this act, we need to like start there. We need to, let's breathe. Let's do this. Let's take our time. Take your time. And then also with no words, just paying attention. If you pay attention, you could see like little gestures. If a collarbone start throbbing because you touch right here, like it's just, you know, I don't know. Huh? A request?
She's still
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, that was cool.
We know.
Oh
we
yeah,
know.
she's cool. Did somebody
Thanks for listening to us, Ozzy.
No problem.
I'm snipping that part and sending it to baby because that's what I've been telling his raggedy butt. Like, get it together.
They said they want a man to get on here though.
Okay.
All right, so let's bring on the man.
on there. Where One Ike and Mike at?
But yeah, Ashanti, I agree. It's the little things, and because so many people are moved and controlled by these sexual feelings, right? Their animalistic natures, that they can't even pay attention to the little things. Pay attention, because yeah, again, it is still a physical act, but you're moving off these feelings that you don't even know how to handle. Don't even know how to work with it.
and that's that whole the whole energy, the transmitting and everything, and that's why it's so important for men to be connected to, you know, to their sex. That's why it's important for them to understand themselves and to be connected, like Alicia was saying earlier, because that's how you express how you feel. That's how you express what you think. And every time you go sticking your penis in, you know, someone's portal, you are leaving those thoughts, you're leaving those emotions there, and you gotta, you know, learn how to control that.
Do y'all ever notice how, no offense to you, sir, but do y'all ever notice how weak a man gets when he ejaculates?
Yes.
Do you notice how weak he looks when he ejaculates? It's like,
Nobody comes and be like, yeah. I'm like, what?
no, right, exactly. They're limp, they're like, you know, and then what we have done is we allow that to come right to us as well. So now now we're all in this cycle of, we're not ascending higher than these lower things because we're not helping each other do so. You're, you know, in connection to what you said, we're telling people how to touch a coochie and, you know, and how to make you come, but we're not telling people how we can all ascend and help each other transcend past these lower level energies.
Yeah, no, what I was saying was I'm talking about developing new sexual experiences and new sexual peaks through exploration.
Got you.
Okay. We've been fucking for 5 years. Let's do this now. Let's do that now. That's what I mean by
I got
exploring and guiding. Like, no, dude, you know, we always, you know, it works. Like, at this point, he know it works. He could do it in like 2 minutes if he really wanted to. But, you know, as I grow, as I get more comfortable in my lotus, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, don't chuck me like this, chuck me like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I got it. But too, I do agree with that. And I think that when you get that opposition, when you're trying to heighten and you're expressing your, you know, dudes, they're men, they want to fuck. You want to fuck. I want to elevate. Where can we meet in the middle? Guess what? You got to elevate to fuck me.
Right.
And I think that that's the energy.
Say that louder. Say that louder.
For the birds.
Like, you want to fuck and I want to elevate. So you have to elevate to fuck me. Like, it don't go no other way. Hey.
Who is this? This voice sounds familiar.
Does it?
Oh, okay.
Who was it?
It's Jehoshua.
I didn't know you listen here.
Wow, he finally watching the episodes, y'all.
Finally follow.
Right.
I be seeing his name in there. Okay.
No.
That's what I said. I got your back.
All right. What's up?
How can we help you?
What you gotta say to advocate for the men?
I would say the biggest thing is kind of how I just said in the comments, if y'all seen it. It's more so growing up, and I know a lot of women look at this as an excuse, but it's the truth. You know, growing up, especially if you got older siblings or, you know, you're looking up to older men that's around you, you're not taught none of this. And I understand, you know, it's something that needs to be learned. And it's something that definitely should be learned. Like, I didn't learn about any of this until I was grown. So it's kind of like one of those things. A good example is like speaking English your whole life. And then you come across females and learn that they speak Spanish. So it's like, oh wow, I gotta learn a whole new language in order for this to just work out. So it's also, and I heard y'all say something. I think it was more, or I think it was in the comment. It was like, I don't like, having to tell them or something. I don't know. I can't really remember. Something like that. It was just more so if you want things to be effective and you want things to, thrive and you want both of y'all to ascend, it's just teamwork make the dream work for real, man. Just patience on both ends, a lot of communication. And I think, it'll be definitely possible, but I just know a lot of men for sure, like, you're not taught none of this at all. So you come across it, it's like, okay, this is something new. You ain't gonna run away from anything, but just always understand it's something new. So yeah, that's my take on the men.
Okay, that's all fine, but how would you suggest a woman go about bringing a man to this concept if they haven't had it in so long?
Okay, it's honestly just like
she said repetitive communication for real.
You just gotta introduce it to that person. It's just communication. I mean, if you're having a sexual interaction with somebody and you realize it's like, okay, we doing this, but I want to go here. I mean, communicate it. Hopefully, that man is open to it. If the man ain't open to it, then I'm sorry, it's a wrap.
So I just don't see where the solution is with most men. So you say communicate. Every one woman has to communicate with that one man or the many men that they come encounter with. But I'm talking about more so as accountability from man-to-man conversations, man-to-man connection about their sexual practices, desires, and like what they do with that sexual energy.
So wait.
Like putting his bro on game.
Yeah, man-to-man. Like, because it's more so like, where does the accountability falls on the man opposed to the women always having to bring men to these ideas and concepts. I get that we do understand it, but
I got you.
When y'all talk about having sex with women, who's in these conversations saying, hey, yeah, and did you raise your kundalini energy? Did you take her to the cosmos? Do you know how to do that? Do you know semen retention? Like, where does that come in as far as the community of men without women being a part of that?
So, from my experience, I would say I've probably been in maybe one conversation with men or other men. And, just higher conversations, about this topic actually occurred. Other than that, nah, it really doesn't happen. But as far as taking accountability and, just getting it going, I mean, somebody just honestly just got to bring it up, rather than talking about, like, all right, yeah, I just hit that last night, okay. It's kind of, it never goes further than that. It's always just, okay, yeah, I hit that last night, or, this is that, or it just never goes further than that.
Right. So with you being a man, where is your accountability and where is your part?
Like I said, I mean, it honestly would just have to be somebody just taking the initiative to talk about it. But that's the thing, like, like I said, even myself, I don't take initiative to talk about it with other men. I know I don't. So for men and other men to come together and talk about it, I mean, somebody's got to take initiative.
Because, like, how earlier we were talking about how sex is such a taboo subject when it's, with the parent and the child. I'm assuming it's like that for them because they weren't taught to be vulnerable with their, their male counterparts when it comes to speaking about a subject so sensitive, so sensual, But, like, again, why?
Right.
But questions that need answers.
It for sure should be in the conversation, though. Because it seems like, just more and more, it's becoming more prevalent. It's becoming more, I wouldn't necessarily say common, but, just out in the world, it's just being more brought up. So I feel like over time, it'll eventually, naturally start to, occur. But as far as something right now, I mean, yeah, just initiative, just going to have to happen.
So would you agree that men are completely out of control with their sexual urges and behavior?
honestly, I would agree.
I don't know if it's control or out of alignment.
It's both.
But yeah,
it's just
because it will produce
yeah,
that.
I mean, it's just
You know.
we don't really, I wouldn't say understand, really know more than just coming. Like, I mean, and even if the person do know more, they not practicing to get there.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that you need to start a penis exchange.
A penis exchange. That's funny.
They need to have a penis exchange where they can talk about these things amongst each other and come out into the world and do better. And it's because it's so weird because I know what you're doing, but it's like for me, I feel like the reason why men think it's okay to fuck us unelevated, to fuck us on the levels that we're not on, to fuck us below our levels, is because we allow them to.
Of course, yeah.
And so I know that men are the way they are. I know that boys are the way they are. I know that males are the way they are. But I feel like now I understand that it's my responsibility to make sure that my interactions are happening on my level of sacredness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because women be masturbating, but they don't do it for themselves. They be doing it for men.
On FaceTime.
They'll sit there and send a video masturbating for the men, but not for themselves.
Like, oh, I know he gonna like this, but did you like it when you was doing it?
Right.
Like, you know.
So, yeah, I do agree. I feel like people, like Ashanti said, people are really reckless with their sexual energy, men and women. Yehoshua, are you still talking to us, or are you good?
Yeah, I'm still talking. I was just listening.
So are you going to start the penis exchange?
It's possible.
Because we need these healthy conversations amongst men. We need them.
One more thing. So,
Yes.
Y'all just talk about how, you allow men to, treat y'all that way or, to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as, because from my knowledge, based on what I see, it seems like the women have more knowledge on it than the men do. So
Ask yourself why.
Starts with y'all, but
Ask yourself why and how.
I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. We're not seeking that. So
That's real.
just working with what's in reality as far as y'all.
He like, yeah.
Okay, producer.
Communicate. So whoever y'all partners are, or future partners, I would say communicate it, because that's just a start. Especially if y'all want to see a change. That's how change start.
Yeah, and don't allow him to use your body, right? Especially if you don't know how to use your body either.
And also, don't be afraid to hold that man accountable if he doing something wrong. So,
yeah. So, would y'all stop somebody? I'm a stopper.
I'm a stopper for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that's cool. I
We're on the
couldn't
same
imagine
page.
someone who will continue to be a part of something.
Unless you just want it to be over.
Make sure they're all right out there.
Sorry, viewers.
Yeah, I'm
that. Can you pull up the
stop.
live so I can see it?
I stop things.
Can you charge my phone?
I stop things, and I'm gonna communicate.
I'm just really trying to figure out, right? Because I saw someone make a comment saying, y'all expect us, to teach y'all, but who taught us, right? And it's just like the self-work expected, or that it always happens for women. It's just like there's a lack in with these men, and when there is a man that is willing to bring unity and congregate men to teach them these things, they're not seeking that. They're not there. And you can't even throw a man in there either. Like, realistically, let's be honest. I've dated a partner where I couldn't do that. I couldn't be like, hey, let's do this. They're going to perform, because I feel like men are performers. They are good at acting as if they know what they're doing. And they're not. That's why most younger women, when they are ready to lose their virginity, they're intimidated. Why? Because that man is performing. He's pretending as if he knows what to do, and you have no understanding of what's going on. But that's another story, I suppose. But But yeah, do we have another man that want to come in? Because now I'm really intrigued by how y'all feel on this matter.
I want to know how often men masturbate.
Yeah.
Because honestly, growing up, I kind of felt like masturbation was for men. Like men jack off. I didn't think that women jacked off.
That's true. That's true.
It was a connotation that everything I knew about jacking off, all the jokes were always geared towards boys. They were never geared towards girls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was another thing. It was like, that ain't even what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be picked and deflowered. Like, not doing it myself.
Playing with yourself.
Yeah. But now I understand it's more than playing with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
But I want to know how often y'all whacking y'all jack. And
whacking y'all jack.
Yeah. Well, obviously, since Yehoshua.
You don't have to answer that. I ain't trying to be in your business. See, she like to be
Let us know. Let us know what you got going on. What you doing, boo?
No, that's not what I said, sir.
How often are you beating thy meat? How many times are you
choking the chicken?
Choking the chicken?
It's kind of, I wouldn't say, well, no, I can say this at a point in time, it was whenever I had the urge. So, at a point in time, it was like every single day.
Wow.
But, as I kind of, like, grew out of that, it's kind of like, well, like, I had to learn that me losing that fluid would, like, leave me exhausted and super tired. So, once I learned that, I said, all right, just slow down on it and, just, reserve that energy so I could fulfill other things. So now I would probably say maybe once a month. Yeah, maybe once a month. If not, it's not that often now.
Someone said just as much as women.
I was
How can you say that?
I think you said you started like really, really late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was kind of late to the game. So
on masturbating, but not sex, right?
No, not sex. We talking about masturbating.
Okay.
You were early though.
I was early masturbating, but I wasn't aware that was masturbating.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm just like,
I was earlier than I thought as well.
Yeah.
I just because since I'm being an open book, I got my first sex toy when I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
14.
I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah. So I also feel like this is maybe really interesting, but I also feel like another act of masturbating, or at least acknowledging sex or that sexual energy, is when you make your toys have sex. Have y'all ever done that?
No. What toy?
Girl. When you got Barbie and you had Ken.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you meant the actual toys. Like, how do I put it?
Y'all not about to be sitting here acting like a motherfucker crazy.
No, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Power Rangers, where they like put the wands together like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or what was it, Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah. Oh, no, not like that. You got Pokemon's humping.
You wasting batteries over there. I thought you was one of them.
Okay, so Yehoshua, before we let you go off the live, I know that there was a period in your life where you decided to withdraw from sexual pleasures and sex.
He left.
Oh, bye then.
I was gonna ask another question.
That's how you going with that. That's what we're talking about right now.
That's enough, babe.
So, do you guys? So we're talking about how we know males can masturbate too much. What about females? Do you think that they can?
Do you think that women can have too many babies?
No,
I feel like women.
No, I'm asking. Do you think women can have too many babies?
I don't think so.
Do you think women can give too much life?
No.
Okay then.
I feel like your body has limitations, so I do feel like too much of anything is just too much. Mm-hmm. I feel like everything should be a balance, even with having children. I don't know, like I feel like if you popping out that many children, what is it doing to your body? At a point you won't, like, unless you are replenishing your body the way you're supposed to, and you're nurturing it and taking care of it.
If you started early enough too, because they say we're supposed to have babies between like 15 and like 22.
I feel that because at the age that I had my child, I realized like, dang, I should have started younger. I'm like, dang, I should have had her younger because you were pretty
young though.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about like 19, 20. But obviously, having a child that young,
having a kid, so 28. So I'm like, I'm 32 with a 4-year-old. So yeah, it's ghetto. It's not ghetto. But
she said, "Sorry, y'all, they tripping over here." Oh, okay. But so yeah, I do think it could be too much. Especially, I do feel like masturbating, depending on like where you're coming from, how you're doing it. I do feel like just too much of anything is too much. Too less of anything is too less. Like
moderation.
Yeah, I think that I don't know what you would have to be going through to masturbate too much. That's what I was saying. Like it's so
and what's too much?
It's too incognito, and that's what I'm saying. Like you can't put your too many. She may think 3 kids is enough. I think that 8 kids.
I don't have an age on it.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like it's gonna change from woman to woman to woman, age to age to age. Like if you're in your like women, and I would say like in our age group, like 25 to 30, we have a higher sex drive than someone say in their 50. So does the 50-year-old woman who's premenopausal want to...
They say you have higher sex drive as you get older.
As you age, they have a higher sex drive, but what the organs doing? You know what I'm saying?
But that's like about taking care of your libido.
Right, yeah.
So that's what it goes back to that.
The desire isn't there. I definitely think women do this.
Come on, Taylor. Bring Teresa too. My bad. She was like,
I'm a log on out, and now here you are.
But we do want to let one more person in on the live to talk or share their experience before we wrap this up shortly. But that was another thing I wanted to talk to y'all about, because I know y'all was talking about masturbating for manifest and stuff like that. But sex magic is spell work, and do y'all feel like that is low magic?
Like period magic and blood magic?
More so, but like usually when you take that energy to do things outside of you, now you're trying to control more than what you have the ability to do. What it is
that you take free will when you perform those ritualistic things, sex magic, sex spells, honey jars, love jars. If they're not towards yourself, right, then if you're doing a spell on a man, or you're trying to woo a man, you're trying to trap a man, you're trying to lock a man in, fixate him on you, what you're doing is you're taking that man's free will. So the magic, the energy of it may manifest to give you in the physical sense what you want, but that man is going to fight that energetically. Because he doesn't know why he's acting like he's acting, because he's not physically and spiritually connected to the energy of loving on you or being with you or being stuck on you or being smitten with you. It literally can drive a man mad. It can drive a man crazy.
And it can always backfire.
Yes. And most of it's not that it backfires. What it does is that it sets off a chain of karmic reactions and karmic cycles. And so sometimes you get lucky and you don't catch the karmic cycle, but your kids may catch it. Your kids may catch it. Your relatives may catch it. Your mother may catch it. Like, you don't know, especially if you don't know your birth chart, you don't know your love chart, you don't know your soul chart. You don't know what things that you do, how they're going to layer over and who's going to catch it. So that's why it's very, 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 very sticky. Even I told y'all, you saw my tweet. Yeah. I took my baby daddy out the honey jar and put him on a shit list. I decided to stop I broke the honey jar. I made a sweet jar. And it was a ritual for myself, but I wanted to make myself a more attractive parent so that he would want to parent better with me. And I didn't realize how much he does not want to parent well with me. Right. So I thought that's what he wants. He wants me to be a good parent. He wants to feel safe and secure in us parenting together. So let me do this. And it worked like a charm for a while. But then I noticed that he started making sexual advances at me. And they were so unwarranted and so strange because we haven't ever been together. Yes, you saw the thing. Yes. And so to where he was like, what would you call that? Like, he was trying to pay me to have sex with him. And I was like, yes. And also I was like, oh my God. I was like, you know what? This is too much. And I broke the jar. And literally the next day he was like, you know what? I don't want anything to do with you. I'm taking you to court. because I pay money and I just want to do visitation. Like, so I removed that hold on his free will, and then he showed me exactly what he wanted to do.
Right.
And to this day, I don't know if he was truly, like attracted to me, or if he just couldn't describe what the feeling that pull, that connecting, that bond that I created in a jar, it took his free will. So I had to give him back his free will. So like, we're currently not speaking. He's not seeing his son. He says he's going to take me to court to give visitation that he already had. It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. But this is the type of shit you do when you take people's free will. So I mean, it's weird. But I know exactly why I'm here. You know what I mean? Would I have been here anyway? Probably. I might have been here 6 months ago. I might have been here a year ago. But ultimately, those are the types of things that you did. But now, so y'all like, well, damn, how you fix that? And so now, it takes I'm a firm believer in manifest for yourself. If you manifest on yourself and for yourself, whatever's supposed to be attracted to you will be attracted to you. Whatever, and you have to relinquish the need to feel responsible for how a person, wants you. Like, if a man doesn't want to have sex with you, doesn't want to marry you, doesn't want to this, doesn't want to that, if he says it and he doesn't do it, if the actions and the words don't match, just let him go. Like, it's no spell to fix that.
Yeah.
That's going to fix it to the level of what your desires are. If you have true intent and desires, like, it isn't. So now my biggest concern is like, fuck, is this a karmic cycle, or is this just a karmic energy bond? So like, so the difference, and I'm probably not using the exact terms, but so like, if you do something and then you gotta pay the price. So I held them in a jar for 4 months, like 9 months. So like, okay, do I gotta go 9 months without them now? So I don't know exactly what it is. Or is this gonna be my karmic cycle where I always knew my dad and now my son won't know his dad because he's mad. So I don't know who's catching it.
She came on.
Hey girl. But yeah, so that's the thing. I don't believe in that low magic, that trap a nigga magic, that trap a bitch magic. I don't, because I just feel like you're taking people's free will, and you should never take people's free will.
Yeah, very quickly, I just wanted to add, I do agree with her. I think that it's very low magic, because that sexual energy is supposed to be used to enlighten and transcend, not to lock somebody down and trap them. So yeah, it's low.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just have one thing to say. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
I've been listening the whole time, and y'all are doing an amazing job.
Yay, thank you.
Listen, my AirPods died. Y'all was talking out loud. Like, it is what it is, people. It's important today. But I wanted to say about the last topic you guys were talking about. I think I experienced something like that with the last person that I was seriously talking to. We had sex every day. Every day. He worked right down the street from my apartment at one point in time.
Oh.
And on his lunch break, every day, sex. Like, probably for a good, like, I want to say like 9 months. And I was on birth control, so I didn't really have a period. So we were going long stretches.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I thought that I was seducing him. Now, I wouldn't say I was doing a spell or anything like that. Now, I wouldn't even have admitted that at that time. But subconsciously, I thought I was seducing him. I thought, okay, he's obsessed. Like, he just I'm everything. We are, like, connected. Like, that. We are sexually compatible. This is working. And there was no emotional... I won't say no emotional connection, but the emotional connection, they weren't reciprocated. So I agree. I'm so sorry. I don't know your names.
Nova, Leslie.
You said Hilda with H?
Okay, Hilda. Nova.
Okay. So I agree. You can't take someone's free will. Like, it's almost, like, it's impossible. And that's why that's not specifically why, and it's a whole different conversation, but that's why I don't necessarily believe that a sexual connection with someone is soul ties, because you can't force someone like that. I don't know. What I in my head was way better than what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But
Just say it. Like, don't think you can't offend us. You can't be right or wrong.
I'm holding back. I'm just trying to find the words to say to articulate what I really mean.
Got you.
But I definitely agree with you guys when I say you cannot make a spell for someone to have those feelings for you or to act a certain way to you. That it can't be done through sex. It can't be done through mental stimulation. It can only be done if that person is truly emotionally connected. And that's why I say I don't necessarily believe in soul ties, because I have to be emotionally connected with someone to feel tied to them. Like, I can have sex with somebody dozens of times. If I don't like you, if I don't enjoy your personality, but I feel like we are sexually compatible and we can exchange things sexually, then yes. But other than that, I don't feel it. So sorry if that was a segue into a whole other topic.
No, you good.
I mean, y'all just, y'all are doing an amazing job. I just wanted to say that.
Okay, thanks.
And another thing, you can absolutely masturbate too much.
Yeah.
Trust me. Like I was saying in the comments, if you do, not only will I feel like you will physically start to lose feelings, but a toy is perfect and men are imperfect.
Oh my
So
God.
that perfect thing always gets you there, boom, bam. When you are amongst something imperfect, it will never be
They
enough
won't
for you.
compare.
Yes,
So
yes.
I think that, you can masturbate every day. If you got the batteries, you got the charge, you can do it every day. Don't mean you should. Too much of anything is not good.
Yeah.
So if I don't know the exact however many I would recommend. I do recommend that people masturbate, but you should not masturbate all of the time, because when you get with a real man, you are going to be so disappointed, and it's not going to be his fault. It's
Yeah.
going to be your fault because you're overly stimulated and you're desensitized.
Yes, yes. That's
Desensitized.
good.
Disconnected.
Yes,
You
yes,
disconnected.
That's all I got to say.
I agree.
And I hate
Well,
that
thank
argument
you,
when
Tay.
people say, like, oh, I don't need you, I can do it yourself. No, you don't need them to do that, but you need the other things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I don't personally. I do. Let me not lie on air. I do care about ejaculating. I do like the feeling of the release, but I care more about laying on a chest and hearing a heartbeat and feeling breath and like, I care about the touch. I care about the nap afterwards. I care about the breakfast in the morning. Like, I care about the smell and the laying in sweat. Like, I care about, I like that part. Like, doing it for myself. I'm like,
Be able to lean on you like how a heavy man gonna lean on you.
exactly.
That toy just gonna be done. Just turn it off and it's done. And then you're left with what? You gotta collect all of your emotions that are tied to that orgasm.
Right, and so,
Hard sometimes.
but that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, so it's masturbating for a lot of people is using a toy. I don't use a toy. I don't really own a toy. I have a bullet occasionally that I'll pull out, but other than that, it's me. Like, it's my hands. It's
I just think it's either or.
Yeah, I do both.
Either or.
Yeah.
but
And
so,
it depends on how much time I have, or how natural it came about. Like, when I plan for it, I have everything there, because I never know where this is gonna go or where I'm gonna have to take it. So I have the whole spread. Like,
not where I'm about to take this.
like, I don't know, because I
pull out a little thing like,
yes, like those makeup brush things with all the stuff in there. Like, yeah, so I would have everything there when I'm setting up, because I don't want to get up and mess up my video. And so, you know what I mean? So, but if I'm just like driving and I see like some scenery and I'm like, oh, okay. And you don't know that that's what you're gonna do, and you just did it. So of course it's not gonna be as long. Of course it's gonna, I'm sorry, not as long. That's not gonna be as quick as a situation as a vibrator, you know what I mean, or something like that. But it just depends on what you what
your intentions are with it. If you want to just get off,
what
if
the
you want to be
are.
intimate, if you want to go deep within yourself, you know, it's just
and
depends.
That's the thing. Like, I can, like, you can. If I tell myself I gotta be to work, I need to come, or
in about 2 minutes, it's gonna happen in 2 minutes.
It's gonna happen in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Period.
Wow. See.
You just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. When you got time, you can take your time. When you don't have time, you know you can't take your time. And that's the thing about being connected. Because your body, like, your mind is like, I want this. Your body like, me too, bitch. So let's do this.
So then that's the point of mastering it. Because you want the quickness, but even in those quick moments, you still don't have to come. You still don't even have to release. You could take it.
You just want to
pow. Yeah. but either way, but I personally would say, because I don't have a toy, a dildo, none of that. I have a bullet.
Yeah, I have a bullet.
Whenever I have ever came from using that bullet, I feel completely weird. Like, because you're releasing something, right? And then if the idea of this creative energy, sexual energy that we have, then when we release it, it helps us bring and manifest things. I'm getting off on something that has a battery, right? And so then I start to feel completely weird.
That's
I mean,
you
like,
and that thinking, but like me,
no, it's no energy there. But
Duracell,
no.
Alkaline energy.
but whenever I don't use that and I use myself, I actually can feel the sexual and kundalini energy that I am able to work with. But again, since I've been Reikiing myself, that took it to a whole nother level. At this point, if I could sit here and do this on my heart, and I'm thriving, and I'm like, all right, what else I need to do then?
Yeah,
but,
for
see,
sure.
sometimes like I'll go back and forth because you know.
I feel like it is an inanimate object, and when I do it, I don't expect for it to give me energy. I expect for me to be releasing something. Like if I do it, I'm like, all right, I gotta do what I need to do because I've been animalistic, as you would say.
right.
Days.
That's what it looked like in my head.
Punch in the back.
Right.
You saw my videos, didn't you?
I'm not expecting anything from that inanimate object. I'm using
quick
it
nap.
as a tool. It's something
Yeah.
that I'm using. It's not anything that I'm not giving that thing anything. I'm not expecting an energy transfer. I'm expecting it to help me release something that I need released.
So would you ever, instead of using that object that doesn't have any energy, would you ever try out a crystal dildo or, you know, crystal wand that actually can give you those energy exchanges just to see what they feel like?
I don't usually use dildos. I just use the vibrator part.
Oh, okay, got you.
I know how I wanted to Google crystal wand, but I didn't want to leave the line to do it.
Got you.
I was gonna do it afterwards, but I mean, I would be interested in using other things, but I've been using the same model and the same product since I was 21.
Okay, it's time for something new. It's time for something new.
She keep buying the same thing over and over again.
It's,
It died and I rebought it.
Okay. She brought it back.
right.
I rebought it, but the thing about it is, that's the thing about that's kind of full circle. That's the thing about masturbating too much. Sometimes only one thing works for you, and you don't have the patience to try something else, and you don't have the willingness to try something else because it's like, I know Bob. Oh shit! Right. I know Bob, my battery operated boyfriend, and he's gonna work.
Not Bob.
I'm gonna call him Bob, and he's gonna do what he needs to do for me every time. So
That's
this
interesting.
is, I think, the first time where I have looked at it as more than just a release of energy, getting off really quick, and getting what I need. Like, I've always known masturbation as this teaching me what I like and what where my spots are. But I've never looked at it as it can be a whole process. Like someone said that they literally like it's a whole process for them, and they can manifest things and think about things. I've never really thought about it like that. So I think that's so interesting and something really, something different that I think I would try, because that is such a power. Like, orgasming is so so powerful.
Yes.
Like, how often are you out of body like that?
Mm-hmm.
How often does that happen? Like, it's so cool. And I think that tying more things that you want into that experience can really elevate you. So I'm happy that y'all talked about this. I thought we were just gonna be talking about nasty stuff.
No.
We like to trick y'all like
we
that.
gotta
Right.
exchange a little
We gonna
bit.
reel you in. We gonna
Right.
give you the bait and then lock you into some deep stuff.
Right.
I ain't put away damn grocery.
I want to ask: has anyone heard about the penetration with I saw something about cucumber, not like the challenge, not the nasty tick, whatever it was, but no, like it sucks the juices or balances. I saw something about it.
I've tried it before.
The cucumber.
Yeah. The
Is
cucumber.
Yeah, the cucumber. Is that so
I don't know what that trend is. I just know back in my past, like, I tried a cucumber.
Oh, not for.
Not for that. No, it's a something. I saw something about
Yeah, I've never heard
putting
that
cucumbers
before.
in your vagina. I don't remember if it was for pH or if it was for hydration.
A nice
Or if it was
organic peeled cucumber will, like, from my experience, it gave me you could just feel the energy. Like, that's just it. Like, I don't know about anything else. That was like experimental.
I was just wanting to know that
Things in the
anybody like
apartment by
masturbate
myself.
with like produce.
Yeah.
No,
Never tried it.
just ask.
But yeah,
Throwing it
Interesting
out
take
there.
though.
No, it's I'll Google it afterwards.
Okay.
It's definitely something about cucumbers do something for the vagina. I saw something about.
well, we should share it on the
cucumbers in
page tomorrow
Yeah.
when we get the information.
Recapping it.
Yeah.
Or, like, when you
Yeah.
send it.
Yeah, I'll look it up because I just was curious that anybody. What else is other people using? Shower heads, I know. Toothbrushes, toys.
Shower heads used to be the one.
Massagers.
For sure.
But yeah. So really fast, I did you know how Taylor was saying, like, you know, she didn't know, like, masturbating, like, could be more than just these things. Another thing, like, from my research and small experience, that masturbating can also help you with your sexual traumas or, like, any traumatic experience you had sexually, that before you even masturbate, that you can, like, put your hands down there like this on your vagina. Take some time to talk to her, to breathe with her before you start to masturbate. So, like, your yoni understands that this is a time to heal, not a time to please. You know, so.
Or be used.
Can't remember
or
where I
be-
read that at, but I do remember reading that somewhere. But yes, talk to your girl.
But yeah,
Oh,
but
that
Taylor,
Letters to
thank
My
you.
Sister by Sister Soldier. She talks about shit like that.
Okay, thank you,
Put them
Tay.
groceries up, girl.
Yeah,
I gotta go.
Yeah, we about to wrap it up. How do
yourself.
Out of here. Good night.
does she have to get out, or can we? Okay.
Y'all gonna exit me out?
I don't think we can.
Don't
You
worry about
have
it.
to.
It's cool.
Okay, I'm just
But yeah, so
be over here.
but so as we like to do, we like to recap. We like to see based on what we have learned, exchange. Where do you stand with it? How do you feel about it? And what is something that you could leave to our viewers and for everyone to kind of think about and maybe even practice or try out themselves?
Just to leave on a positive note, one thing I'm going to say again that I said earlier is that when you're being intimate with yourself, speak to yourself. You know, just speak love, speak life, speak beauty. Be happy with yourself.
Beautiful.
Get in the mirror and record it.
Look at yourself.
Look at yourself.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people want to be appealing and attractive to other people, but you're not even appealing and attractive to yourself.
Oh, that's so
like,
real.
I love being naked in my own skin, in my own bed, touching on myself, not in a sexual way, but just knowing how I never want someone else to touch me and be like, oh, what was that? You know what I mean? Like, I know how I feel. I know where my moles are. I know where my stretch marks are. Like, I know my body like that. And so that's the energy I can bring to all said experiences. Like, know my body like I know my body. I think that that's the first, ownership of yourself before you give yourself to someone, before you share yourself with someone, and just take time, you know, to be with yourself.
Yeah. All beautiful. And I'm definitely taking notes because, you know, like obviously when you all in your own head, own world, there's not much you're thinking about, but I actually learned some things.
I learned some things. I learned a lot today, especially like from you and your perspective. You always have like the deepest, like, they're so simple. It's like they're so deep that they're simple. You know what I mean? Like, you're thinking about it like, this is this and this is this. This is what it is. Right, and you're here. And I think that to hear it, it's like, okay, it kind of shifts. But it just depends on where you gravitated toward, you know, like from, where you're coming from.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, a person over there is going to have a different journey than for me coming here if we're both trying to get to that computer. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of just like taking in the panorama view of all angles and seeing how things are, and just understanding that we are all like, you know, really like all trying to beat on the same.
Exactly. Everyone's trying to
Everyone's
trying to be in the cosmos.
We're all trying to get to the same thing, and it's just interesting to see how everyone goes about getting.
We're trying to go back to where we came from, because we all long for this home, and you think it's in somebody, you think it's in these physical things, but it's really inside of you. But
I keep thinking about Jasmine and pleasure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Pleasure,
Oh,
yes. What brings you pleasure? What brings you pleasure? And
that's real. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, my man brings me pleasure, but he doesn't bring me pleasure because he's bringing me sexual pleasure.
Yeah.
He brings me pleasure because he pleases me on a different on an emotional level. You know what I mean? So it's just thinking of things in those abstract ways, those real simplistic ways. Like, if sex didn't exist, what would I like you for?
Yeah.
Because you're funny, because you're warm, because you have big hands,
can cook,
and you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you didn't have that, what would you have? If we did not know sex with other people, what would we have emotionally to that connection? Because I'm sure we would discover that if we touched
that's
it,
a question
it
to
did
ask.
something. Like, what would you do? And so that's what I think of when I feel lonely. When I'm like, how the fuck I get the nigga out of town? Like, why? I should be waking up to circumcision every day. You know? And it's like, you think of these things, and then you're like, but what if? And what would, and this is really what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about those deeper levels that are really just really simple levels.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I will say is that I'm just really big on the art of self-mastery, whether that's emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, like knowing how to master yourself in like many different ways. And when it comes to masturbating or working with your own sexual energy, I would just suggest, you know, everyone to try or practice doing it without touching and see what you are able to bring forth and move within you with just using your breath, with just using your mind, you know, with just mastering yourself, where now you can use your physical, you know, these physical things to now help you heighten where you are going. And I just personally feel like, you know, we all should just be focusing on our root, our sacral, and our solar plexus. You know, I know a lot of people who tune in and watch and listen are all on these journeys, and so many people are focused on taking it there, like everyone ready to fucking fly. And it's just like, when really it's the lower level things that are actually preventing us.
Yeah, the foundation.
That's your foundation for your spiritual work. So you may have natural gifts and talents. You may have prophetic dreams. You may have, you may be a medium. Like, you may have these natural things, these spirit gifts that we have. But until you heal those things, like energy flows up. So it flows from the ground up. That's why trees have roots. They have to have good roots before they can bear fruit. So when we say focus on these down here to get these up here, that's what we mean. You're working on your roots, the things that are in your roots, your confidence, your reproduction, your stability, your security. Like, work on those things, and that energy will be flowing, and it will align and balance, bring balance to your life in a way that is so important. And I just think for the women listening, like, challenge yourself to explore what traumas you have in your sacral energy. They may not be yours.
Yeah, that's
they
so
may
important.
be you have inherited fears. Your mother may have been raped. Your sister may have been touched.
So true.
So you may have all of those fears held up in you, and that's why you look at things the way you look at things. So challenge yourself to question, really, what is my relationship with my sacral? What is my reproductive, my fruitful, my bearing, my life source energy? What kind of energy is that? You know what I mean? And it's a full spectrum. It's grandmama, mama, sisters, aunts. It's every female you know, you know what I'm saying? You can see things that you've never been through, but you identify with because you can relate to feelings. Like, why do you feel it in your gut when you hear certain things?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, explore those type of feelings, because those are the type of things that allow for that muscle that is the uterus to release and really start to, you know, be able to enjoy. Like, I'm 32, I'm just now being able to enjoy my pussy. Like, in all of its facets, the outside, the inside, what it does, the energy, the manifesting. I'm just now really using it. It's been used, but I wasn't using it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm using it now.
Yeah.
And it's powerful.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. And then one last thing is just do your research on your libido and what it is, and actually, like, how important it is in your everyday life and in your sexual life as well, because a lot of people be thinking, like, and your libido, a big part of it is your diet as well. Like, you can activate, like, or work, you know, like, awaken your libido a little more, or, like, you know, like, allow the energy to be stronger with what you eat and stuff like that. Also, what you eat makes you more animalistic as well. If you're eating animals, of course you're gonna succumb to, like, these, I mean, it's just the truth. But but either way, food is still like a physical thing, and it plays a part when you are working on these lower level things. And eventually, when you transcend, you start to notice that you could possibly go without food. But I'm not there, so I can't even say that is true, because I don't know. Right.
She's
but
not
yeah,
there yet.
so
She's getting there.
Yeah,
She's getting there.
Hopefully.
Can you show us the
pose again?
The pussy
that
pose
was
again.
that was the end of the picture, Justin.
Yes, we're gonna show. This is the end. This is
and then you're gonna do it.
And 5, 4, 3.
No, I'm not doing that.
Come on, show us so we can do it.
No, we're good.
Oh, it